24th September 2023 Madhuban Avyakt BapDada Shanti Revives 22nd December 1995. The Murli's title is The Speciality of a Life Full of All Attainments is that it is free from unhappiness and you remain happy. Today, BapDada, the ocean of love, is seeing its souls who are embodiments of love. Godly love is merged in each one's heart. This godly love is attained in just one birth. You have received love from deity souls and ordinary souls for 83 births. Just think about it. Remember it. Go through the whole cycle. You are spinners of the discus of self-realization. Are you not? So, did you go around the whole cycle in a second? Did you receive God's love in 83 births? You didn't. It is only in this one birth, at the confluence age, that you receive godly love. So, you now know the difference. There is so much difference between the love from souls and love from God. Where did love from ordinary souls take you? What did you receive? You have experienced this, have you not? However, where does God's love take you? To your sweet home and your sweet kingdom. Love for human souls makes you lose your fortune of the kingdom, whereas God's love enables you to receive your fortune of the kingdom, and that too in this birth. It isn't that you are moving along on the basis of the future. No, it is at this time that you have direct godly attainment. Compared to the present, the future is nothing. You sing the song about what there will be and what there won't be in heaven. What is the song about the present time? You have attained what you had to attain, or do you still have to attain it? You have attained it. Have you, Pandavas, attained it? There is the memorial of the gopis. The memorial of the present time is nothing is lacking in treasure store of Brahmins, not in the treasure store of deities, but in the treasure store of Brahmins. So you are Brahmins at present, are you not? Do you experience that nothing is lacking, as all of these attainments are imperishable, not temporary? What speciality would someone who has all attainments in this life have? If someone has all attainments and does not lack a single attainment, then what speciality would be visible in his activity and on his face? Constant happiness and cheerfulness. No matter what happens, someone who has all attainments cannot let go of his happiness. Whenever you are unhappy, check whether you are experiencing a lack of attainment or whether you have all attainments. Today, BapDada saw many centers and sub-centers, not in the foreign lands, but in this land. Mostly in the service centers, there are the servers. So today, while touring around the centers, Baba saw both the servers and the service places. In each place, whether it was big or small, Baba checked each server to see to what extent everyone was happy while serving with their bodies, their minds, their wealth, and through their relations and contacts, because these are special things, are they not? So what did Baba see? Everyone's body is old anyway, whether they are young or old. In fact, the younger ones are sometimes weaker than the old ones. Even if their illness is serious, the feeling of being ill or the thought, I'm weak, I'm ill, increases the illness. Because the body affects the mind, you therefore become doubly ill. Because of being doubly ill in the body and the mind, instead of being soul conscious, you repeatedly became illness conscious. So what did Baba see? He saw that in their bodies, the majority, whether you call them ill or call it settling their accounts, 50% are doubly ill and 50% are ill in a single way. However, what should happen? You must never have any thoughts of illness in your mind and think, I'm ill, I'm ill. What happens instead? You make this thought form, I'm ill. Then sometimes there isn't any pain, but because of not having happiness in their minds, some make excuses. I have a backache. The majority either has pain in their legs or back, or they often say that they have a backache, even without having any pain. How can you check this? Do doctors have the thermometer with which they can check whether you truly do have backache or not? Get an x-ray, do this, etc. This incurs for expense. So what did Baba say? Baba told you about the body. Many servers like this were seen. All of you are servers. Do not think that this only applies to the teachers. No, all of you householders are also servers. Are you not? Or are only those who live at the center servers? All of you who live in the households are also servers. Sometimes Baba will tour around your homes and see how you sleep, how you wake up, whether you have a double bed or a single bed. Acha, Baba is now talking about today's tour. According to the time, nowadays, do not think that it is a big thing to take medicine, because at the present time, the most powerful fruit of the Iron Age is medicine. Look, they are all so colorful. This is the last fruit of the Iron Age, which you should take with love. When you take medicine, it doesn't have to remind you of the illness. If you take your medicine under compulsion, then compulsive medicine will remind you of your illness. Whereas, if you take it with the consciousness of taking it to put strength into your body, the medicine will not then remind you of your illness. If you think that it will give you happiness, then through that medicine you will be alright in 2 or 3 days. Nowadays, there are many new fashions. In the Iron Age, the most inventions are of medicine and different therapies. Today, there is this therapy, and tomorrow there will be that therapy. And so, this is the most powerful fruit of the Iron Age season. Therefore, don't be afraid, but do not take medicine while being medicine conscious or illness conscious. So, of course, there will be illness of the body. That is nothing new. Therefore, never be afraid of any illness. When it comes, give it some fruit and then bid it farewell. Acha, this was the result in terms of the body. Then what else did Baba say? The mind. What did Baba say about the mind? Baba saw the good news that in the majority, each server has a lot of love for Baba and a lot of enthusiasm for doing service, leaving aside the 25% who may be moving along under compulsion. Baba saw both these aspects in the minds of the majority of children. Baba also saw that because of having love for the Father, you pay a lot of attention to sitting in a powerful stage in remembrance, to progressing and doing service. However, what came next plus then? Although you want to remain set on the seat of remembrance very well, you only remain set for a short time. You then start fidgeting, just like a little children would definitely start to fidget if you make them sit on a seat for a long time. So too, if your mind is not under control, if it is not in order, you only remain seated well for a short time. You make progress, and also do service. But sometimes you are sad and sometimes you get upset. What is the reason for that? You wish to be sad, so why do you get upset? What is the reason for that? You lack the power of concentration and the power of determination. You make very good plans for sitting in this way and having this experience, and that you will then do the service, that you will then move along like this. You make very good plans, but while acting on them, or even while just sitting idly, your power of determination is reduced, and your mind and intellect get busy with other things. Sometimes you are not busy doing any work, but West thoughts become the greatest work, and those attract you. You may not have any physical work, but because your power of determination has scattered your mind and intellect, which you want to keep set, fluctuate. BapDada saw to what extent you carried out the work that he gave all of you. All the notes reached BapDada. However, many children are very clever. What cleverness did they do? They wrote a note but didn't write their name on it. They wrote it in that way, thinking that Baba knows everything. Of course, Baba knows, but since Baba gave you some work to do, you should at least do your work fully. If your teacher tells you to write something and you tell your teacher, well, you know that I know how to write this, would the teacher accept it? Many don't even write their name. However, whatever task you have been given, in whichever group you are in, Baba saw a very pleasing thing in the majority of them, that they have the thought that they will definitely do this by the Diamond Jubilee. This applies to the majority. Do you also feel the same? Will you be liberated in life? If you become free from all these things, what will you become? You would be liberated in life, would you not? So, each of you had shown very good courage and enthusiasm, whether you are foreigners or residents of Bharat. The majority of you has good zeal and enthusiasm. Very few have written that they need more time. Let them take more time. All of you have to at least be liberated in life. So Baba saw in the result that everyone has the enthusiasm definitely to do something in the Diamond Jubilee. However, BapDada saw that to the extent you have zeal and enthusiasm to make yourselves into diamond, you also make very fast plans for service for the Diamond Jubilee. BapDada is happy that you have made fast plans, but do not then say that the burden of service was too much and so there was some fluctuation. BapDada does not want this. Service that disturbs you or others is not service. It is selfishness. When there is fluctuation, it is because of one selfish motive or another. When either your own selfishness or that of others is not fulfilled, there is disturbance in service. All of you have to serve while being detached and loving. Detached from selfishness and loving in your relationships with everyone. Then the aim and the thought that you have had for the Diamond Jubilee, that you will become a diamond and celebrate the Diamond Jubilee, will be fulfilled. Do not just remember half of it. Many respond to Baba and say that they have to celebrate the Diamond Jubilee, and so they get busy doing this and that. However, you have to remember both aspects of what BapDada had said, not just half of it. Having become a diamond, you then have to celebrate the Diamond Jubilee. It is not that you just have to celebrate it, but you have to become a diamond and celebrate it. So, do not take just the aspect that suits you and celebrate it in that way, but become this and then celebrate it. To become a diamond and then celebrate it is the aim for the Diamond Jubilee. Do not fulfill only half the aim. You have a double aim. You have to become this and then celebrate. Not just become or just celebrate, but both should be together. You know that you are making plans for the Diamond Jubilee and to become diamonds. All of you know that Maya is also making her plans in advance. Therefore, do not say, "What can I do? Baba, I lack courage. Maya is very shy." And so, keep Maya with you. You will rule the kingdom and Baba will look after Maya. You have to rule the kingdom. You have to become conquerors of Maya and conquerors of the world. So, how can you become conquerors of the world without conquering Maya? Therefore, in all directions, pay attention please. Do you understand? Acha. Baba has told you half of what he saw on his tour. He will relate the other half some other time. Many centers were very beautifully decorated. Some were very simple, some very raw, some were of the middle level. There are many who feel that everything should be very raw, so that if a VIP comes, he should feel that the center is very good. However, for Brahmins, you have had the discipline from the beginning that the everything should be of the middle level, not too simple and not too raw. You saw how Brahma lived in a very simple way. However, you have facilities, and there are also those who supply you with those facilities. Even then, when you carry out any task, let it be of the middle level. No one should ask, "What have you put up?" No one should even say, "You are already now living in a royal splendor." So what was the lesson for today? All of you have become free from everything. Have you not? You have all made a promise to become free from everything. Have you not? Is it a firm promise? Or when you return home, will you say that it is difficult? Be very strong. Let Maya test the sweetness of the pleasure of the Diamond Jubilee. Your Master, Almighty authorities, no less. Acha. Many double foreigners have come. The double beauty of the task of the establishment is in the double foreigners. BapDada knows that you come here with so much effort and in such a clever ways. If you didn't have so much love, it wouldn't be difficult to reach here. On the one hand, BapDada hears that the value of money has gone down, and on the other, every year he sees that many more foreigners come. So this is courage. A group from Russia has also come. Where did those from Russia get the tickets from? Their stories are very good and worth hearing. Stories of how they accumulate their ticket money are very good. All of this will happen. It is only paper. It is just paper. Whether you call it a dollar or a pound, it is still just a paper. So how long will the paper last? Gold has a value. Diamonds have value. But what about paper? The value of money has to go down, and your money is the most valuable. In the beginning, you had it printed in the papers that Om Mandli was the richest in the world. You didn't have any means of earning. One or two had surrendered themselves with Father Bramha, and it was printed in the papers that you were the richest in the world. So even now, when there is a physical upheaval everywhere, you will not have to print it in the papers, but the journalists will come to you themselves and write it by themselves. They will show on TV that the Brahma Kumaris are the richest in the world, because no matter what happens, your faces will be sparkling. You may not have any chapatis to eat during the day, yet your faces would be sparkling. So there would be sorrow everywhere, and you would be dancing in happiness. This is known as death for the prey and happiness for the hunter. This is why BapDada said today, the speciality of those who are true Brahmins, those who aim to have an elevated life, is happiness. Even if someone is insulting you, do not let your face have any wave of sorrow on it. Just remain cheerful. Those who insult you will then get tired. Is this possible? Let it not be that he spoke for 1 hour and you spoke for just 1 second. If you speak or think for just 1 second, if you show any signs of displeasure on your face, you have failed. I tolerated so much. I tolerated it for 1 hour and then the gas escaped from the balloon. So, do not become gas balloons. What else do you need? You found the Father, and so you found everything. This is the song that you sing. Is it not? Remember those things at those times, and your faces will not change. It should not be that you start laughing loudly in front of that person so that he becomes even more angry. Cheerfulness means a spiritual smile, not an external smile, but a spiritual smile. So, what was today's lesson? To be constantly free from unhappiness and to remain happy. Double. Do you understand? Acha. To all souls in all directions who are embodiments of love for BapDada, to those who free themselves from unhappiness and who are intense effort makers, to the fortunate souls who, with a balance of remembrance and service, constantly attain success in service, to all the children in this land and abroad who stay in the enthusiasm of revealing the Father, to those who write their good news to the Father and who maintain enthusiasm for their own service, to such loving souls who are close to the Father, BapDada's love, remembrance, and Namaste. The spiritual children says Namaste and good morning to the spiritual Father. Blessing. May you be a Master Almighty Authority who bids a farewell to obstacles by having constant awareness of the self. Explanation. The confluence age is the age to bid farewell to obstacles. Therefore, do not allow the obstacles to whom you have bidden farewell for half a cycle come again. Constantly remember, I am a victorious jewel, a Master Almighty Authority. Let this awareness be constant, because obstacles of Maya will not be able to come in front of powerful souls. If an obstacle comes and you have to remove it, that is not called being constant and unshakable. Therefore, pay attention to the word constant. By constantly staying in remembrance, you will constantly be free from obstacles and the drums of victory will continue to beat. Slogan. To offer yourself for doing godly service is to receive thanks from BapDada. Om Shanti